Okay, this is Mike, and I'm going to teach you how to prepare your image in Photoshop for the Camera Club. And as you can see, I've got several images here that we're going to prep. The first thing I want to show you, though, is here are the dimensions of how your image should be. No larger than 1400 pixels wide, no taller than 1050 pixels up and down, and the size should not exceed 1.0 megabytes. So I'm going to go into my January folder. As you notice, I am in Adobe Bridge, and I spend a lot of time in Bridge. I tend to work in Bridge going to Photoshop or Lightroom going to Photoshop. I'm going to just double click on this image. Up it comes in Photoshop. And you can see it's a pretty good size image already. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just check to make sure that this image is prepared from a color space perspective for the best way to project it. So I'm going to click on Convert Edit and then Convert to Profile. We'll go over here where it says RGB and change it from Adobe RGB to Working RGB or sRGB 1966. They're both the same. And I'm going to click OK. Sometimes you may notice a change in how your picture looks, so that's one reason you want to get used to making this change a little further along up front in the editing process rather than waiting towards the end. Okay, so now we're assured that our color space is correct. We're going to click on Image and Image Size. Okay, so up comes the Image Size window. And we can see that it's currently sized at 2000 by 1333. We need it 1400 pixels wide, no larger than that. So you can see when we do that, it turns the height into 933. And just for grins and giggles, let's see what happens if we change the height to 1050. Then it goes over the 1400 pixels wide size, so we know that we just are going to stick with 1400 wide and do it that way. I'm going to click OK. The resolution at 240 pixels per inch is fine. When I click OK, you'll notice that the image got a little bit smaller. That's all right. And let me just throw in one other piece of the tutorial here. I'm going to show you how to put a stroke or a border around your image. And I do this in Photoshop by either hitting Command-All on your Mac or Control-All or Control-A on your PC. And you can see it's got the little marching ants around the side. I'm just going to click Edit. I'm going to click Stroke. And I've got it set up here for a 3 pixel. The color is white. When I do that, you can see I got a white border around it. I'm going to hit Command-D or Control-D for deselect. And this is what it looks like. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to click File, Save As. And it brings it up to my January folder. I'm going to click Prepped Images. The next thing I'm going to do is do my naming convention. So I know this is for 2014, and let's just say that this is for January 01. I'd like you to use the 01 through 09 for the first 9 months of the year, and then go to 10, 11, 12. Next thing you do is put in your name and the name of the image. And this image is, let's just call it Old Mill Area. And then I'm going to put in either a T for a theme or O for open. And I'm going to click Save. It brings up another dialog box. And if I check this preview box right here, it will tell me the size in Photoshop of what my file is going to be. It says 760.1 kilobytes. That's good. That's under a megabyte. So I'm going to click OK. Oh, I'm a happy camper there. If I go over here to Prepped Images, here's my image. And you can see by looking at the size of the image, 1433, 747 kilobytes, we're good to go. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my other folder, and here is my other image. This is my balloons over bend image. And I'm going to do the same thing here. First thing I'm going to do is check for profile color space, and we're in good shape. This one's already in the sRGB color space. So I'm going to click OK there. Then I'm going to go to image size. Okay, this is a pretty big size image. Now, here's a little hint. Whenever I'm doing portrait size images, almost every time I do this, all I have to do is go to the height and put in 1050, and it resizes it perfect for me. The width is not 1400, not larger than 1400. The only time it might be is when you're doing a really wide panorama. So I'm just going to click OK. That's going to resize my image again. I'll bring it up. And once again, I'm going to show you this real quick trick. Command A for all, or Control A. The marching ants. We're going to put a stroke around there, about 3 pixels wide. And that looks good. Now I click File and Save As. I'm going to put it in my January folder. And I don't want to save it as a TIFF. I want it as a JPEG. And then I'm going to rename it 2014-01 underscore Mike Jensen underscore balloons over bend. And we'll call this a theme, or you can either call it an open image like that. It'll go into this prepped images folder. I click Save. With the preview comes up, it says it's 629, so I know I'm under my 1 megabyte, and I click OK. Then I can just go check my image, and here it is again. If I check the metadata in the prepped images, it's 699 by 1050, 612 kilobytes. I know I'm ready to go. I just have to go and upload it. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you at Camera Club.